Good morning and welcome to PWR Today. It's Monday morning, June 8th, 2020. It's the man they call Meathead. We've got a big show this morning. We're going to have talking about NXT In Your House TakeOver and also update to the PWR Draft. But first, let's bring in our guest. It's Linda Kay. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. How are you doing today?
Still in first, still living the dream.
I see.
Not the Velveteen dream, if you will, but still living the dream. How was your morning? You're not. I mean, according to PWR Twitter handle, looks like you're living the life that Damien Nelson's living right now.
What do you mean?
I mean that you're in dead last with him.
Yeah. All caps last place, but only 90 points from the top spot, which is you right now. Only 90 points away.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll get into more draft later on in the program here. But first off, let's talk NXT TakeOver. Of course, you watched it. What did you think of the show overall?
I thought it was a pass. It had a night of nostalgia and high-flying action and lots of things throughout the show to keep me excited. I mean, I thought all the matches were great, but the things in between, the little old-school flair, if you will, favorite things that made me pop the most was the promotional consideration paid for by the following, and I said it along every time. Wasn't it always Fink in the past, or is it
No. So way old school. That was Lord Alfred Hayes. Promotional consideration paid for by the following. But it was another English gentleman that did that voiceover tonight from NXT.
Who was it?
Oh, that was Sir William Regal.
Oh, duh. I should have figured that out.
Yeah, that was William. No, that was fantastic. I love that. Ice cream sandwich bar commercial.
Yeah, Isopro.
Yep, Todd Pettengill going, call us at 1-900.
900, yes. Even the when him sending it over to our AOL customers, shot of DX with the big old computer monitors.
Yeah, did you see Santa Claus in the background? Santa Road Dog?
Yes.
What is it? And Shawn Michaels had some huge beard going on too.
Yeah, it's quarantine. I think a lot of people are just sticking with this new look: longer hair, grayer styles.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, not me. I shave and haircut when I can. I got down to Milwaukee last week, and I found me a barber somewhere on the south side that didn't mind having a meathead in the chair, and we got all cleaned up. So.
Very nice. Very nice.
So let's talk NXT from last night. Opening match was Tegan Nox, Mia Yim, and Shotzi Blackheart defeating Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. I love the little shout-out. Raquel Gonzalez looking a little bit like the ninth wonder of the world there. She was dressed in the black leather. I like that. There was always talk before China was, put in that maybe China wouldn't be put in because of what she had done post-wrestling life. But I'm glad that they just recognize her for the wrestling stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was nice to see. I always thought from the start she had a China-esque about her, but great to have her in this match as well. She's got dominance as far as size and stature, just her look, her appearance. But overall, I thought it was a great match, leading up to the several miscues toward the end in her team, but we had little rivalries individually within this match, meaning Mia Yim and Candice LeRae, Shotzi with Dakota but also with Raquel, and then of course Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai's history. So it was nice to see the good girls winning this one. I liked that they got their Tegan got her revenge so to speak with Dakota.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I gotta ask you this question. This is outside of wrestling, but in the pay-per-view from last night. I don't know what brought you to wrestling. I mean, I know you said your first show was, King of the Ring 96. What brought me into wrestling really has always been music. How awesome was it to have Code Orange performing at the beginning of the show?
Yes, that was fantastic. I know Triple H loved them, but it was great to see them, performing live again at an NXT TakeOver. But they just add something to the show.
They absolutely. You know what I thought we've always missed? So with Edge being back in the mix, can we find Alter Bridge once? I mean, if we make it all the way to WrestleMania 21 and get a crowd again, can somebody call Alter Bridge and play him in just once, please?
I love Miles Kennedy's voice from Alter Bridge. But yeah, that would be fantastic to see. Or even get Rob Zombie and do a different Edge
I love I love Miles Kennedy's voice, but I've also heard him try to do Guns N' Roses at the Hall of Fame, and that didn't work for me. The rest of it, amazing, love the man, but that didn't work. All right, so let's talk about the next match here. We had it was Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Not Damian Nelson, but Damian Priest.
Yes.
David put out on Twitter, I believe, or PWR put out on Twitter, Finn Balor's missing a fire. Did you see a lack of energy from Finn Balor?
I thought it was quite an equal exchange between the two of them. I mean, with Damian Priest dominating, I think the beginning parts of the match, and then Finn Balor always putting a good fight up. I think this match definitely showcased Damian Priest's strength. But in the end, I think, we still saw a lot of energy from Finn Balor just coming through with the win. I mean, I will say I was scared to see that potential Razor's Edge into the steps. I was like, oh no.
That was an amazing spot. And I thank you for segueing into that. I don't know how long it took him to work on that, but with Damian Priest being so big, perfectly done. I mean, he landed solid. It's scary, and those are sharp edges, obviously, and it's aluminum, and that's going to cut you open, but amazing spot.
Yeah, that thud, I was like, ooh. But definitely changed the pace, I guess, of the match, because that pretty much led into a couple coup de grace, I believe, and definitely, put things over for Finn Balor. Because going into this match and, watching our Be the Bookers and whatnot, I really wasn't sure which way this would go. But I don't know if you watched the post show that was on Triple H's Facebook Live after the show last night, but he talked about how he felt Damian Priest was one, if not the most standout star of the show, and how he may have lost that match, but it really put him over to really spotlight his talents. And hopefully we'll see some more of Damian Priest. But to be honest with you, I didn't know too much about Damian Priest or seen too much of his shows, or wasn't quite as engaged, I should say. But after this match, definitely opened my eyes a bit more.
I think he's got a great look, and I think he's got a great persona. Damian Priest is a star, and he's going to go places for sure. The only thing I wondered is that last coup de grace from Finn Balor, didn't it look like it was a little off? Was Damian Priest too far from the corner?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, but I think there was already a stomp that he had on him, and then the main coup de grace. So yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Title defense and points for David Hero. NXT North American Champion Keith Lee defeats Johnny Gargano. A lot of fun spots in this match. Johnny, seen the picture of Doc Hendricks in the back of the house, putting the keys in the trunks, locking the door. I don't know if they had Ring for a doorbell, but the security camera, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering when the house would be used in one or more matches, and that was just a fun and clever way with the doorbell camera and him knocking and, thinking, I'm like, check your trunks. Like, he needed the key.
Right, but he locked it, right.
I mean, obviously he did reach in later to make use of that key over and over again into Keith Lee's eyes, but I figured that key would come into play later in the match, as well as more damage to the hand of Keith Lee. So, I mean, this was a longer match than I thought, and it was a better match than I was thinking it would be, just based on the size difference. But you knew there would be some shenanigans with the new Johnny Gargano, and then having Candice and Mia a little bit, showing up as well. But a lot of shenanigans, but I was highly entertained by this one.
Absolutely. The NXT champion Adam Cole defeated the Velveteen Dream in a backlot brawl. Now, as far as PWR Draft goes, this was a big match for Andrew Baydala, because this was a specialty match. It was a title match and a title defense, which netted him 75 points on this one. The picture on WWE.com is literally Adam Cole in the windshield, laying there going, dude. I mean, I'm laying in a windshield. I thought it was a missed opportunity with the Uber. They should have done more. I mean, we could have relocated somewhere, and she could have drove him back or something. It was fun, but there should have been more.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I liked the intros, with Adam Cole coming out in the huge truck and then the yellow Lamborghini. Although Marinello said I was expecting a little red Corvette.
Yes.
But I did like the Lamborghini and his jacket showing, dare I say, Hollywood dream.
Yeah,
In the
he was
back.
dressed as Hollywood and Negan from The Walking Dead.
Ah, yes, very nice. Yeah, it was great to see them in jeans as well. This was, a backlot brawl, but it was a street fight, so that was pretty cool. But I don't know, it was interesting. I mean, at first I was wondering because they weren't really showing who those were, like who the fans were. Those, I don't say fans, but the ones
Sure.
chanting and cheering, and then you just saw the different cars and the headlights, which kind of made it hard to see at first. And I was like, who are these people? And like chanting them on. But then the Uber came that kind of brought a little light to it. And then of course, Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish showing up, and like, all
We
right,
were missing one member from the UE.
yeah, I think Kyle O'Reilly's acting, or is he recovering from something? I don't know. He shows up in their
Possibly.
vignettes, but I think he's got some other stuff going on. But yeah, with them showing up, I figured this would be the time for not Sam Shaw, sorry, Dexter Lumis to make his appearance, which we got to see as well.
Yeah, and that's funny that showed up. Honestly, I was looking around to see if we can snag any appearance points from anybody else on, the team they call Meathead's roster, but no, it didn't happen for me. But this match also means that the Velveteen Dream cannot challenge Adam Cole while he's champion anymore, so he will get no more title shots.
Right. So, I mean, does this mean he might get brought up to main roster soon, or is this just built for kind of like what Shane Helms was saying, like
Right.
a way for
To find somebody else as champion.
You're correct.
Just be their advocate, get him champion, then get that title shot right away.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, yeah, I did enjoy the match. Here we go saying cinematic again, but we expected another theatrical type match, which we got. The one thing is though, I really don't like how Adam Cole won by using a low blow leading up, to the what's his move, the sunrise.
Sunset. I don't know. American eggs and ham and cheese. I don't know.
The scrambled eggs comment, that was
right.
Funny. But I mean, it was legal, so.
Well, I mean, the referee told them that, hey, Commissioner Regal said, I'm only here to count the 1, 2, 3. So.
Yeah, very true.
So the match that you had talent in, Karrion Kross is defeating Tommaso Ciampa. So you only get 30 points for a match appearance and loss, because that is a one-on-one loss. And this was a short match. Karrion Kross was dominant in this match.
Yeah, I kind of felt going in like this is a chance for Karrion Kross to get the spotlight. So I kind of saw Ciampa coming out, with the loss in this match. But, while I do love, well, first off, sorry, I love Karrion Kross's entrance, of course. I love the darkness and the music. But I always love hearing from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
We pop a little.
Yes. But you know what? I thought it was a hard-hitting match. They stand, I mean, Kross is taller, but kind of when I say toe-to-toe, I mean just like their look, their demeanor, their hard hits. But obviously, my guy, Tommaso Ciampa, could not overcome Karrion Kross's cross jacket, neck crank move, and he didn't just tap out, he passed out. So
yeah, just think if you would have won, you wouldn't be in last place with Damien.
Yes, but like I said, we are just 90 points from the top right now with Backlash less than a week away. So there you go, Meathead.
Hey, again, the view never changes unless you're the lead dog. But boy, somebody's real close behind me right now. Let me get back to work in here. The main event, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and the new NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai. Your thoughts on the triple threat match?
I thought it was great. Definitely highlighted everybody, and it would just start off being just like 2-on-2 and then another person coming in to break the count. But I saw at one point I felt there was real heat between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, it being where Ripley pulled her hair and pulled it out of the ring. And now, as a female, if you get your hair pulled, there's some real heat right there.
Oh, yeah, there is.
The punching was a little bit more hard.
Is that where they take the nails off and say it's on?
In the earrings and the heels, yes. I don't know. I've never been in a fight, and I don't dare ever want to be. I like learning fighting moves, but not real fights. But it looked great. I mean, seeing Io Shirai and her first getting when Charlotte threw her into the house, into the window. At first, I thought there was going to be some glass shattering. I'm like, oh, shades of the barbershop. But nope, it just threw her in. But obviously, that led to her climbing to the top of the house and
jumping off of it.
Judas, yes, that was awesome. I thought Charlotte and Rhea caught her well, and it all fell. I mean, literally fell really nicely and into place. But a lot of back and forth in the match, high flying moves, and yeah, with Io Shirai doing a moonsault onto Rhea, because I was wondering what was going to happen. I felt that sequence leading up to the end was happening, and I'm like, oh, okay, so Rhea Ripley got speared, and now she's in the figure 8, and then I totally, I didn't think about Io Shirai till they showed her already on the top rope. I'm like, oh my gosh, this might happen, because I felt there was going to be a title change, and I wasn't sure between Io and Rhea, but when she got Rhea Ripley kind of like on her head, that looked kind of off, or not off, but a little scary for a second. But then it just kind of knocked Charlotte off base, and then she got that pin. I was like, holy crap. So I enjoyed it.
You know who I was pulling for, obviously. The only points that I scored in the evening were an appearance for Rhea Ripley, which I thought was going to be a title win, which didn't happen. Because it's a 3-way, it's not a loss. However, it is a title loss for Charlotte Flair, which Andrew Baydala has Charlotte Flair only getting 10 points for this match, because not only was it a loss, it was a title loss. So, again, lots of points being happened. Nobody has, and I practiced all week. Io Shirai. Now I practiced all week and I can't get it right. I even begged Dave here twice this week to pronounce it for me. Io Shirai. So, your new women's champion of the NXT, Io Shirai. Overall, an early pay-per-view. I don't know if this is the way business is going to be going forward. It started at 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern, when normally they're 8 Eastern, 7 Central. And, I'm used to the old pay-per-view model where it went 2 hours and 45 minutes and it was off, at quarter two.
Yep, that 15-minute, And with the recaps. I wish they would do the video recaps post pay-per-view as well. But I don't know. I think that maybe it's just, like I mentioned, there was it was Renee Young with Triple H after NXT was done to do their post, show thing. It was more casual.
They had Flair 24 on tonight as well.
Yeah, that too. So yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they just want to do more shows after the pay-per-view now, especially now, like with Raw having its Raw Talk post show.
Raw Talk, yeah.
Too.
I mean,
so
Raw Talk is Raw Talk, but you really should be listening Tuesday mornings to PWR Today with the man they call Meathead and David Hero. That's where you should be listening.
Absolutely.
Folks, make sure you're following us on all the socials. PWR is available on Facebook, on Twitter at PWR360. You can listen to the podcasts on Fight TV. You can also listen on Apple Podcasts. We're available on Spotify. We're available wherever you're really pulling down your podcast. We're there for you. Make sure you give us a like, give us a subscribe, YouTube, all those other good ones. Make sure you're listening to PWR Today. We're Monday through Friday, so every Monday morning you wake up with Linda Kay in your ear or in your car and the man they call Meathead. Coming up this week, again, we've got on Thursday, we've got Primetime with Shane Helms. Saturday, Primetime with all the associates, including yourself. We will have a PWR Draft update this Saturday. There are big news. There is big news coming from Fyter Fest out of AEW, and I don't think Damien's going to like it. So Fyter Fest is an AEW pay-per-view that's coming. Well, technically, it's not a pay-per-view. That's the problem. Shh, don't tell them. But Fyter Fest coming from AEW. Linda, anything else before we kind of ride off into the sunset here?
No, I mean, I guess just to kind of summarize TakeOver, it was great to see in your house, the vignettes with Todd Pettingill as well throughout. And
glad to see Todd.
Show, with the show ending with confetti, it's like, Io Shirai's own house party. I guess one thing is
a house? I mean, besides the title, does she get a house?
No, Todd said in the very beginning, we will not be giving away a house.
Hey, if we want to follow you on Twitter, what's your handle?
It's Linda K22.
Linda K22 on the Twitter machine. So for Linda K22 on the Twitter machine, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. So long, everyone.